the Elegoo Saturn 3D resin printer prototype. Let's have a look. Hey guys, Elegoo reached out to me recently and asked if I'd be interested in looking at their Saturn printer. This model is still under development, and of course I bit their hand off. The first thing you notice about this printer is its size. Folks often complain that resin printers only handle small prints, and Elegoo are certainly taking on that challenge with zeal. Look at this build plate. It feels solid and massive, and I mean that positively. Look at it next to the Mars. Straight off, when unpacking, I hit a problem. In removing the protective covering from this screen, I also removed some black tape, which I think should actually stay there. Removing it has revealed this ugly void. But this is a prototype, so I'm happy to ignore that issue, and I've added on my own black tape. Just like the Mars, the Saturn has adjustable legs in case your worktop isn't level. This sturdy base section is fully metallic and speaks of quality. Unfortunately, the power switch is still located at the rear, where I would have preferred to see it on the side. Whilst there, we can see that the Saturn has two cooling fans, and as such it is a little noisier than the Mars, but it's still fairly quiet and nothing to grumble about. The power lead gets plugged in here, and what's this? An Ethernet port. That suggests the Saturn can be networked, a feature we normally associate with the big boys like Formlabs. The USB port is located on the front below the screen. Now, I criticised the Mars for having a rear USB port and recommended front or side location, so I should be happy here. But actually I'm not really. With the memory stick plugged in, there's now an obstacle in the way of the touchscreen. This didn't stop me using it, even with my meaty fingers, but I can see accidents waiting to happen here, and maybe potential damage to the stick or the port. A little away from the screen would have been safer, or maybe the side would have been better still. The resin tray is, of course, similarly large, and again it feels the part. Elegoo have included these location points to help seat the resin tray. And have you noticed the lack of side brackets? This tray positions nicely into predetermined slots. There's a nice clunkiness to it. It feels nice and firm. There's a single drive rail on the Z-arm, but the side supports are widely spaced and suggest good stability. The build plate clunks on like a piece of farm machinery, big, reliable and ready to work. Now that's what you call an Allen key. I won't bore you with levelling, as I covered that in more detail in my Mars review, but it's the same paper technique applied. Strangely, levelling a much bigger plate somehow seems easier. I'll go with the standard Elegoo grey resin, I think. Boy, it takes a lot of resin to fill this tray. The screen looks the same size as the Mars to me, and the touchscreen works just as well. The menu is just as simple and intuitive, and like the Mars, the writing is too small. This really bugs me. There's no reason why the text can't be a little larger. If any Cubic can do it with their Photon S, then Elegoo surely can do it too. I couldn't find the test print on the memory stick, even though it was actually there. But again, let's put that down to a prototype glitch, or maybe even a memory stick error. I changed its location manually, and it was happy to go from there. In action, it's not as fast as the Mars. The plate descends slowly, smoothly and quietly. And as you'd expect, the test prints are excellent, every bit as good as the Mars, if not a little bit better. The only problem I had was with plate adhesion. The prints were securely attached, and I've marked them in several places, trying to prise them off. But a big build plate demands a big print, so I turned to the David Eastman Deadpool bust I printed a few weeks ago. The Saturn specs are already built into the latest version of G2 box, and the size difference is obvious. The longer and wider plate now fully accommodates this fabulous print, which would normally be a task for an FDM printer. But I will scale it down just a tad. And 20 hours later, here's the result. It's my biggest print to date, with FDM or resin. You motherfucking son of a wrinkly faced breathed decrepit bag of all the useless under the sky, you take the yes. I guess I'm not used to handling such large prints. I enjoy busts of all sizes, but this one is fantastic. The incredible detail created by David Eastman is showcased beautifully here. So what are my thoughts on the Elegoo Saturn? Well, this is a prototype, so I'd expect bugs, but other than the tape and the memory stick issue, I have nothing strange to report. Yes, I'd like the power switch on the side, but I can live with it. No, I don't like the positioning of the USB port, which for me should be on the side, but again, it wouldn't stop me using it. I do wish they'd work on the interface more. The main buttons are great, but once you're searching for print files, the writing is very small and my nose is against the screen, which causes me to gag on the protruding memory stick. We live in an age of tiny screens. The menu in my Creality CR10S is half the size of the Mars or the Saturn, but reading file names on a scrolling list is easy. Come on Elegoo, if Creality have managed it, you certainly can. There doesn't seem to be any air filtration that we see on printers like the Photon S, but personally I'm a family man who's changed his fair share of nappies, so nasty pongs don't put me off. And hand on heart, nothing has nauseated my nostrils, so I'm not bothered about carbon filtering either. So that just leaves the matter of price, and as this is a prototype, I really don't know. It's much bigger than the Mars, and for me the quality seems a little bit better. So it's obviously going to be priced more than the Mars. But let's hope that Elegoo continue to challenge the market with affordable printers. In a nutshell guys, I love it. It ticks all the boxes for me, and even with the issues I've mentioned, it still tugs at my heartstrings. Time will tell if Elegoo make any modifications to their prototype, but even if they don't, the Saturn is a printer that's destined not to disappoint. I hope you enjoyed this preview of the Elegoo Saturn. If you have any questions or comments guys, as always, leave a message below. So take care guys, and thanks for watching.